Welcome back to Textiles and Treasures. Today I'm going to share some of the random finds I picked up at a couple of trips to Goodwill within the course of 1 week. These finds definitely cover a wide range of my interests and collections, so I'm excited to share them with you today. Let's get started. The first thing I picked up at Goodwill was this giant planter. As you can see, it's got a nice blue pastel color here with a pretty pastel iris painted on it. It doesn't have a hole on the bottom and it's not signed, but I definitely think it's a planter. I think this will be great for some of my larger plants or maybe even some succulents. I'm planning to drill a hole in the bottom to help it drain. This heavy planter cost $4. The next thing I picked up at Goodwill was this snowman wall hanging quilt kit. You may have heard me mention in previous videos that I want to learn how to sew, I want to learn how to quilt, and I felt like a wall hanging is a good place to start. This particular kit comes with all of the materials, and I really thought that the snowman design was adorable. How cute is he? This cost $4. Another thing I picked up at Goodwill was Monopoly City. I had spotted Monopoly City a few days before and I researched it and realized that this particular set goes for about $20 or $25. So I decided to pick it up for only $3 at Goodwill. Surprisingly, this game was almost complete. It was just missing a couple of information cards that aren't really necessary for the game. So I was really happy to get this for $3 and I'm looking forward to trying it out. It's a different version of the classic game. As you can see here, you build up skyscrapers. It's a totally different game and it's got electronic banking, which will make it more interesting. A few days later, I picked up this mug. As you can see here, it says Mama's Mug and it's got a cute little bear on it. I actually spotted this while thrifting with my mom at Goodwill a week before and it was actually a set of 3, but somebody bought the Papa's mug and I decided to get the Mama's mug for my mom just in time for Mother's Day. She really loves it and I think it's so cute. While I was still in the store, I went back and someone else had bought the other baby bear mug. So even though this set did not stay together, it all went to happy homes. I paid $1 for this mug. I was also happy to find this letter holder or organizer in this wicker and metal style. You may have seen in other videos that I have a pair of plant stands in this particular pattern, as well as a newspaper or magazine holder and a set of shelves. There's something about this dark wood color with this silver metal accent that I actually really like, and I was happy to find this organizer because it's nice and solid. I paid $2 for this. A couple of days after that, I found this beautiful pink art glass vase. As you may be able to see here, it has a diamond optic pattern that kind of swirls around the vase, and it has nice, beautiful ruffled ridges here, and it also has a riggery here. This may have been made by Pilgrim Art Glass, and it fits absolutely wonderfully in my colorful glass collection. This cost $2. I also found this adorable tiny little terracotta pot. As you can see here, it has a nice delicate yellow floral design and it is signed on the bottom Countryman Ceramics. I couldn't find a whole lot about this particular company, but I do think that this will be great for a little tiny succulent. I will probably drill a hole in the bottom so that there's some drainage, but I think it's really adorable and it was definitely worth $1. I also found a Takahashi butterfly mug. In fact, I found 2 of them, but one of them was cracked, so I returned it to Goodwill. I wasn't able to figure out where I stored the mug in time for this video, but I will show you some images of it on the screen. I personally love butterflies, and I know that Takahashi is a good brand, so I couldn't resist picking up this mug for $1. A few days after that, I headed to a different Goodwill where I picked up this board game. I found this game called Leverage. Definitely a game from the 80s, reminding me of my childhood with those graphics. And it is a really interesting game of balancing and trying to beat your opponent and getting it to touch down on their side. I can't resist these classic games, and this was only $2. I also spotted this milk glass planter. If you can see here, this planter has a feather or a leaf pattern that goes all around the edges. And although this is not signed, I know that it's made by Randall because I have a vase in the same exact pattern. I was interested in this planter because I saw them at my local Goodwill for $3 and someone snapped them up right away. So when I found this for $2, I decided it was worth picking up. Back at my local Goodwill, I picked up a few games. As you can see, I'm on a board game kick. One of the things I got was an evening of bridge with Charles H. Gorin. This looked interesting to me because it will teach you how to play bridge, and it's definitely something I want to learn. I like learning classic games. This was only $1. I also picked up this dice game called Nada. This game is really interesting. It's a quick game that you can just play to kill a few moments. You toss all the dice on the table and look for matches. This game was almost complete. It's missing just 1 die, but that's okay. You can still play it without it. This was only only $1. I also found this deluxe travel edition of Scrabble from 1990. I thought this was nice because it folds up and the pieces fit very snugly inside the plastic holders. As you can see, this is a Toys R Us and Scrabble 50th commemorative edition, and it does have the special R tile. I believe it is missing one letter, and I can't figure out which letter it is. But it's okay, you're still able to play it, and it only costs $1. Speaking of anniversary editions, I also picked up this deluxe anniversary edition of Monopoly. This is an anniversary edition from the 80s, and I thought it was interesting because it has the wooden tiles. It also has gold playing pieces. Unfortunately, it is missing quite a few pieces. This is the only board game I've picked up that has been missing so many pieces, but it only costs $1, and I still feel like it's worth keeping because the rest of the game is in pretty good condition. I also found this 16-inch embroidery hoop at Goodwill. As you may have seen, I pick up these vintage wooden embroidery hoops whenever I see them, and I didn't have one in 16 inches until I bought this one. This was $2, which was a pretty good deal for something of this size. Last but not least, I picked up yet another hobnail style votive holder. This time I picked up one in the milk glass color, another one to add to my votive collection. As usual, this votive costs $1. And it does look a little strange in the midst of all the other colorful glass because it's opaque, but hey, I haven't seen another one like it since. Now that you've seen everything I picked up in a week of thrifting, I would love to hear which item was your favorite. For me, it's probably a toss-up between this art glass vase and this cool iris planter. Thanks again for stopping by my channel. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future thrifting videos. Have a good one. Goodbye.